The grand challenge that we've focused on is flattening the duck curve. Our team members consist of
Sam Lee,
Azia Azmi,
Sparsh Desai,
Aaron Hammond,
and Matthew Rabinowitz. Here's an overview of our problem. In a phenomenon known as the duck curve, renewable energy production peaks earlier in the day, while energy demand peaks later in the day. This requires environmentally harmful natural gas peaker plants to be turned on later in the day to meet maximum energy demand, and causes the excess renewable energy produced earlier in the day to go to waste, by either sending it back out into the grid or having to store it in expensive batteries. So, how might we optimize the renewable energy duck curve to prevent extraneous peaker plant operation and reduce environmentally harmful emissions?
Here's our solution overview, which takes a unique approach to this problem. The key idea here that sets our team apart is the focus on shifting the renewable energy demand back to the afternoon rather than the renewable energy supply forward and later in the evening. This requires shifting a 3-hour energy load of about 1,400 to 1,500 watts per home. How can we get there? Well, there are many appliances in a home that are time versatile, meaning that they can potentially be used at any point in the day. Though our approach requires changing habits of when these appliances are used and getting past the initial friction, its benefits are quite impactful. One time versatile appliance that we looked at initially was the washer-dryer, but a key issue is that turning this appliance on automatically around noontime would leave wet clothes sitting in the washer for hours before the user returns. A more ambitious appliance goal is the water heater, which has decent water insulation. Shifting this energy would entail heating up water during afternoon times of peak excess energy and using that heated water later in the evening. This insulation efficiency is something that must be further tested before using it. The appliance that perfectly fit the energy level that we were looking for was the dishwasher, which takes up 2% of a user's daily consumption. We selected a specific dishwasher to study and hold its statistics as those of a typical dishwasher. Typically, a cycle runs for 3 hours and people use it 5 to 6 days per week. We wanted to see just how significant the impact of energy shift would be if the threshold requirement is met by this amount of shifted energy. So we processed and analyzed some data in MATLAB.
So as Sparsh said, we did a little bit of a data experiment. Here's a screenshot of a little bit of our MATLAB code. We basically took data from 2 homes, hourly energy data, and as you can see here, this is their daily usage superimposed for the entire year. This basically confirms our duck curve assumption, where you can see all of the peaks are largely in the late afternoon and evening. And then this here is what we use to do the core of our analysis. This basically shows the peaks across the entire year. You can see the summer months here in the middle, having much higher peaks. And we were able to use this to see how much we had to shift for how long to actually make a difference and flatten that duck curve.
So how would we go about shifting the consumer demand? Our solution is a cheap Internet of Things-based system that allows homeowners to connect their home appliances to a microcontroller or Wi-Fi module. An app allows them to turn on their devices at the most energy-efficient times. In addition, the user can set a fail-safe time threshold after which the system will automatically turn on regardless of how much excess energy is present. The total cost of the system is roughly $3, which allows it to be mass-produced for households and communities. In addition, the app will periodically update with real-time data and inform the user when the best time is to turn on their appliances and how much energy is being shifted.
The IoT system has a threefold benefit. It benefits utilities by preventing peaker plant operation 33% of the days in a year. It saves 7% of the per-day costs when threshold is met with no operation cost, and it provides predictability or uniformity of energy demand. The system benefits people, as the feedback provided by the app on energy data allows people to easily monitor and control their energy usage. Finally, the system benefits the environment by reducing a solid 5.5% of CO2 emissions and 5% of NOx emissions.
Now, in order to gain momentum to move forward from here, we would largely have to advocate to policymakers. A big thing would be getting on one of these TRM lists, which is the Technical Reference Manual, which is these lists of various energy-efficient products that utilities subsidize for their consumers to use. Now, we would have to advocate for our minimum viable product of the device and the app to various energy commissions and boards. Now, talking to our stakeholders, 3 of the questions that we're going to have to answer for them is it saving the customer money? Will subsidizing this be economically feasible for the utility? And does it decrease the cost of the operation of the grid? And we are absolutely a team that is prepared and ready to answer those questions, and thus flatten the duck curve.